Anthony Martial and Manchester United's striker problem, or at least lack thereof of a striker problem. And this is a topic that I've already touched upon in the channel, and it is a topic that I'll probably touch upon again, not only now, but as the season continues, as it is something that could really impact Manchester United. It could be something positive for Manchester United and Martial's career going forward, or it could be the end of Anthony Martial's career at Manchester United and the end of this season before it even begins. And I say this because when you lose a player like Ronaldo, who not only is one of the best players in the world, but who had to do the impossible and a bit more last season to be able to score 18 goals in the Premier League and to score as many goals as he did in the Champions League, and especially in the group stage where he just looked like he was saving Manchester United night in and night out. When you lose a player like that, it is important to go out there and replace them. But Manchester United have not taken the adequate steps to make sure that that is the case, that they replace Ronaldo in adequate time. So now we are left in a situation where we are asking Anthony Martial to be Manchester United's main striker once again, ever since the 1920 season. And Ronaldo, it looks like he will be going. So yeah, it will be Martial, at least as things stand with both the Manchester United squad and the transfer market, as some of the best striker prospects since the beginning of the window are now gone. The likes of Darwin, Haller, Gabriel Jesus and Richarlison, they're now all gone. These were all players that were rumoured to be moving off where else, moving to different places. And Manchester United did not take the opportunity to sign any of those four. So again, we are in a situation where Martial will have to be Manchester United's number one striking option going to the season, which is not all bad. And I'll touch upon as to why it is not all bad in a second. Welcome back to the JVM Football channel, where you can find game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. If you are interested and would like more football content like this, please subscribe to the channel. So the main question I have, at least regarding Martial and this Manchester United squad, is could Ten Hag be looking at Martial as the person to get the goals for them coming into this season? Because once again, Ronaldo is leaving. They have not signed any striker. We haven't really heard any major rumours. I mean, there was a rumour about Dybala, but he's gone to Roma. So that really leads me to think that Ten Hag could really be looking at Martial as the man to get the goals for the team. I say this because, again, they've not signed anyone, and as the preseason has gone along, as the 4 games have now finished, Martial has been excellent. He not only in his scoring goal vein, but also his positioning, the way he's held up the ball, his pressing with Rashford and Sancho, his chemistry with Bruno. So maybe Ten Hag is really looking at Martial as in a serious way and saying to himself, I can work with this guy. And I would be surprised, because Martial is an extremely talented player. I was wrong to say that Martial would not get a second chance at Manchester United after his season with Sevilla, where he scored 0 goals in 5 months, however you want to look at it. So yeah, I really thought that it was time for Martial to move on from Manchester United. But maybe Ten Hag has other plans, and this is part of the reason why I am so excited about Ten Hag coming to Manchester United, because this is one of the best managers in the world. This is a manager that has developed some of the best young players into world-class talents, the likes of De Jong, De Ligt, and etc. So I really want to see what Ten Hag can do with these players, and if Ten Hag thinks that he can work with Martial, if Ten Hag believes in Martial and that he can coach Martial in the correct way to maximize his potential, then I will not argue with that. Again, I've been saying this for some time now, and the phrase is, in Ten Hag we trust, or I will trust in Ten Hag and see what he can do with Martial. But why are there doubts around Martial? How bad was Martial? How bad has Martial been over the past 2 seasons, whether it is his attitude or his output? So let's look at Martial's season, for example, this year. So this year, in the 2021-2022 season, Martial has played a total of 23 games. And in those 23 games, Martial has only scored 2 goals. 2 goals in 23 games played, and he has assisted once. He went on loan to Sevilla again, and in those 9 games that he played for the Spanish team, he scored 0 goals. He got 1 assist, but scored 0. Not very good for the person that you want to be your striker coming into this season. Then you look at the Premier League, where Martial in 8 games scored 1 goal, and then he scored 1 goal in 3 Europa League games. And then in the Champions League and EFL Cup, Martial has scored 0 goals. So in total, in 23 games played this season, Martial has a total of 3 goal contributions, which is not good enough. Not in the slightest, really. Then you look at last season, which was another season where Martial wasn't as good, but at least last season Martial was a bit better than this year. Last year in 22 games in the Premier League, so he almost played the same amount of games in the Premier League as he did this season in all competitions, and in that period of time he scored 4 goals and assisted 6 times, 10 goal contributions, which is not bad. But again, when you're asking this, if you're looking at Martial to be the number 9 for this team, these numbers are not really indicative of something to be hopeful about. And in total this season, last season, 2020-2021 campaign, Martial played in 36 games and he registered 16 goal involvements, which is not the best again, and it's quite worrying. Again, Ronaldo was able to score 18 goals with this Manchester United squad, whose midfield is just lacking, with Rashford, Sancho, everyone around him underperforming. Ronaldo did the impossible this season, and hopefully Martial doesn't have to do the same thing. Hopefully, again, as Ten Hag is looking at Martial, he's probably going to build a system to where Martial is going to be able to thrive. But I want to look at Martial's 2019-2020 season, and that's going to take us back 3 years, because this is Martial's best season at United, and it is in a kind of similar circumstance. Whereas this season Ronaldo is leaving, or at least looks to leave. In the 2019-2020 season, Lukaku left after Oli took over, and Oli was another man who looked at Martial and saw the potential in him. And if Ten Hag is really looking at Martial the same way Oli was looking at Martial, with seeing the ability of this player to become the main striker for Manchester United, that season Martial played in a total of 48 games, and in those 48 games Martial registered over 30 goal contributions. That's a total of 23 goals and 12 assists, double digits in both goals and assists, 17 goals in the Premier League and 7 assists, 4 goals and 1 assist in the Europa League, and then a few goals and assists throughout the cups. That's both the FA Cup and the EFL Cup. This was Martial's best season, and I'll go back to this season to show everyone that Martial, when he's focused, when he's on it, he is a world-class talent, like he displayed in the 2019-2020 season. Now, the question I raise is, can Ten Hag replicate that at United? Can Ten Hag replicate what Martial did in the 2019-2020 season into this season? Can Ten Hag remind Martial of what he's capable of doing and push that out of Martial into this season? And if Ten Hag did this, I think that would generally have to begin to call him a genius. He is already a genius, but I mean literally, because that would be excellent coaching. And if there's anyone that can do this, if there was anyone that I could bet on, Ten Hag is one of those few. Ten Hag is one of those few, as I look at Ten Hag as one of the best managers in the world, and Manchester United are very lucky to have him. So going into this season, what I hope happens is exactly that Ten Hag is able to squeeze that off Martial, that he's able to remind Martial of his ability, of his highest heights, and try to replicate that again this season. That is what I truly hope. How confident am I that is going to happen? Out of 10, I'll give it a 5. I give it a 5 because it really is 50-50. It can happen. There is the possibility that it could happen. Martial is an extremely talented player, and he does have it in him to get the job done. And then you're also working with a great coach who's not only going to trust in you and coach you the right way, but who's also going to implement the right system around you to make sure that you are successful. So when you take into account all of those things, it is likely to happen. But again, I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 because of the way Martial has performed over the past few seasons. I mean, he in that loan spell that he got at Sevilla, which I think it was a great move in the January transfer window. A nice loan deal for Martial to get his head off all of the things that were going on at United, for him to get kind of a fresh start to the end of the season. But he didn't perform. So that leaves a lot of doubt and a lot of questions in my mind. But if you're talking about can Ten Hag and Martial work together to make this happen, I think they can. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching this video until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. This is the beginning of something special, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and help me to grow this channel.